let's begin the implementation part. All right, so first I will define a function crawler. So this is the crawler function which will take the seed page as a parameter, and now I will create two lists, sorry. It is to crawl, that is seed page. The crawler needs to crawl the seed page initially, and the second is crawled list. So initially the crawled list will be empty because the crawler has not crawled anything yet. So I'm defining condition while to crawl. So I will tell why I am doing so later, but first let me code it. So while to crawl, I will get the contents first. So I have to first pop it. So page URL is equals to Alright, so what I'm doing here, I'm checking if something is present inside the to crawl list or not. If something is present in the to crawl list, then and then only the crawler will crawl that link. So if nothing is present in the crawl list, in the to crawl list, then there is no work of the crawler. Alright, so the first we check if something is present in the to crawl list. Then what we do a pop operation. So what pop operation doing? It is popping out, it is removing the last element present in the to crawl list. It is deleting that element, and at the same time it is returning that element and storing it in page URL. So basically it's an URL. Alright, so now what we'll do, we will now, since we have got the page URL, so we have to get the contents of that page. Content is equals to get page, right? Alright, so I have already defined a get page function. So get page function is getting the contents from those pages. So here is the get page function. So get page function which takes the URL and it is checking against a bunch of URLs that I have already pasted here. So if the URL is this, then the content will be this. If the URL is this, then the content will be this, and so on and so forth, depending on the number of pages in your site. So here you have seen that I've already pasted the contents of the web pages exclusively. Alright, so which means the crawler actually doesn't have to go to the web and crawl. Alright, so what happens typically in a search engine like Google, the crawler has to go to the web and it has to crawl the web pages, the website present in the web, and then get the code. It's the it gets the code and then it retrieves the content. All right, but here we already have our code, our content of our site, so we need not make our crawler go to the web and then collect the contents because we already have the contents. So if we do that, then that would be like putting an extra effort, and it will surely increase the time constant, the time that the code takes to execute, it will just increase. So I'm just simply pasting the contents here so that our code runs in the minimum time possible. All right, so we've got the contents. Now after getting the content, what we have to do, we have to make an index. So for that I will define another function. So add page to index, which will take in a parameter of index page URL and content, most important. Right, so also I will define an index here. So this is the index that we have to display. Alright, so index is initially blank, there is nothing in the index list, and we will be making the index list. Alright, so the goal of this function is actually to build that index, so that later on in our site, when we create that search bar in the site and we input anything in the search bar to make a query for the inputted text, then that text will be searched against the built index. So first we have to build the index. Alright, so first we'll code this function add page to index, and let me tell you, this function will finally return the index. Okay, so now I will code the add page to index. So add page to index, this index page. But remember, the content that I had pasted here also consists of several symbols like at the rate, is equal to, dot, comma, etc, etc. Alright, so first I'll get rid of all those symbols, because when we search in a search bar, we never search for a comma or a full stop or any other such symbol, so we only search for words. Alright, so I will remove all the symbols first, so I'll do that now. So what's equal to content dot replace. So first thing I'm going to replace is the comma, and I am going to replace it with space. So remember that I have to perform this replace operation several times. So just copy paste it, replace. Now I will also get rid of the exclamation mark. I will get rid of the dot symbol. I'll get rid of any, oh yeah, I will also get rid of the ampersand. Sorry, this is at the rate. Then I will get rid of the tags. Remember to get rid of all the tags. So first I'll get rid of the paragraph tags here. Then close paragraph tags. Then the header tags. You should remember what your content has. If it has header tags, you have to remove it for smooth efficiency of the code. So in my code I only have h1 tags, so I'm removing h1 tags only. So if your code has other tags like h2 tags, h3 tags, so make sure that you replace all of them. Now I'm splitting it. So dot split. So now what I'm doing is that I am creating a list, and I'm naming that list as words. So words is a list that will contain all the words present in the content, only words. All right, so moving further, so I will move through this list. All right, for word in words. So now I have to check if that word is initially present in the index. If that word is initially present in the index, then what I have to do, I have to go to that word and that word's corresponding URL list. All right, and then, okay, let me explain you this way. So I'm not showing you the structure of the index. So what the index should look like is like this. Index will be a list containing a list. So list, it will contain a word, will contain a word, and corresponding to the word it will contain a list of URLs, like suppose URL1 comma URL2 and many more. There will be word 2. It will also contain a list of URLs like URL2 comma URL3, then so on and so forth. So this is the structure of the index. So it will be a list of lists. So the first element of the list is this. The second element is this. And each element has a word, and corresponding to that word is a list which contains the URLs. Alright. So first I'm checking if the word is present in the list or not. Alright. So for word in words, so for checking that purpose I am again creating a function which I will call as check word. Alright, so in the check word I'm giving a parameter as word comma page URL comma index. Alright, so now let me code this function. So I am splitting this in sets of functions so that when I view it later and to debug it, it becomes easier. So def check word. Right. So in this check word, what I will do, I'll move through the index first. For entry in index, if entry 0 is equal to word, then what I will do, like suppose first I'm considering that the word is already present in the index, so it will go through the index, it will go through each element in the index, that is this is the first element, it will go to this element first and it will check whether entry 0, so entry 0 is this. Alright, if entry 0 matches with the word, then what will happen, it has to simply update this list. So what I will do, I will simply update the list corresponding to the word. So it should be like entry. Right, so remember that even when updating this list, you have to check whether this URL is already present in this list or not. If it is not present in this list, then only you have to add that URL. Alright, so I will first check if not page URL in entry 1, then what I will do, I will append it. If it's not present, then I will append it. So entry 1 dot append page URL. Alright, and then when this is done, I'll simply return 0. Alright, so first I will suppose that the word is found there and I will append it to the URL list and then I will return 0. But what if the word is not found? Then I will return 1. So I will do that also. So zero. Alright, So else part, else, so I'm not write else, I'll simply write return 1, right? So if the word is found in this, so it will check through the index. If the word is found, then it will return 0. And after going through each and every element of the index, if the word is not found there, I will return 1. So I will move back to here. So I will declare a variable named value. So value will either contain 0 or 1 depending upon if the word is found, and if the word is found here and the word and the URL gets inserted in the URL list, then it will return 0, else it will return 1. So if the URL is found in the index, so if the word is found in the index and the URL gets inserted in the URL list, then we need not do anything because the URL is already inserted. But if the URL doesn't get inserted, then what we'll do, we will check if value equals to 1. Then what we'll do, we will simply append the so we have to create a new word and URL pair. All right, so what we'll do, index dot append word and its corresponding URL. All right, so this is basically the task 1, guys. There's a this is just the task 1, like I said before. So this is the task 1, that is the that is like collecting the contents and making a list of those contents. So this is task 1. We're going to talk about task 2. So tasks 2 that I said earlier is to get all the links from the pages and then decide whether to insert those links into the to crawl list or not. So this is our task 2. Now our task 2 will be first collecting all the links, then updating the to crawl list and updating the crawled list. All right, so task 2 I will show you in the next video. Till then you can make an attempt, like check whether you are able to do this or not. So till then, goodbye.